See, I don't think pulling you out would really help with that light source because it's back there. So shining on, you're not really going to get much anyway. Well, it'd be what it'd be. Another nighttime because times of the evanescence. You know how it be. Testing. Another nighttime because, yep, times of the evanescence. Sounds good to me. Move the keyboard here, place here. Microphone. You're going to be fine right there. Mouse, don't be a pain. Mighty pen, mighty notebook. And I think I'm ready. Don't really see any reason not to start, especially now since it's 2 a.m., so no one's going to be here anyway. We can get things started here. Let's fuck it. We're gonna ball. We are gonna ball. 5, 4, 3, 2, and... Hello everybody, and welcome to week 3 of the 2025 NFL season and my picks. I'm your host, The Cat, the one and the only. I say meow, I roll intros, and boy does things look like they're coming up my way. And I say that for a multitude of reasons. Listen, with Denver and LA, we already knew Oregonian Pride was going to be loud and proud. Bo Nix and Justin Herbert going head-to-head. I think the Chargers swept them last year, so we'll see how much Oregonian Pride we're going to have there. But do I hear a little birdie? Do I hear such a little birdie here? Jaden Daniels having a little injury that might sideline him for week 3. So what's that you say? What's that you say? My boy has risen from the dead and might get to play this week? My boy's risen and he might get to play this week? Oh boy, Oregonian Pride. We are loud and we are proud. The Ducks are shining. These are things I like to hear. Y'all remember when I used to do bits with him and Julio? Remember that a couple of years ago? Julio's still up there. I just didn't get him out of the box. I just only got him out of the box because I wanted to talk about the likelihood that he is possibly starting this weekend. So, Oregonian Pride, baby. Oregonian Pride. But yeah, y'all remember that? When I used to do a bit with Julio? Because I like to shit talk the Falcons. I do. I still like to do that to this day. Shout out Chris Carter of the Falcons, old hat box. I like to shit talk the Falcons, always do. And even MariGOATA got to be a Falcon at one point. Time flies when things happen and you kind of have to move around as a backup. But hey, he found a home in DC. He's been working out great there so far, helping mentor Jaden, and now he might get to start. Nothing has been made official yet, so take it with a grain of salt. But either way, Oregonian Pride is loud and proud. And from the notes that I've been hearing as well, with Fields down, Tyrod Taylor is going to get a start as well. So we're talking all my favorite QBs. Flacco starting, Tyrod starting, MariGOATA starting. I like Lamar. I like Herbert and Bo. We're getting all my favorites, and all I'm getting to start this week. I am a happy camper. Granted, my schedule, I'm probably going to have to miss most of these games, but I am happy as can be. You want to know what else I'm happy about? Y'all should check my last week's results. Talking 14-2 straight up last week, and 13-3 against the spread. Get on my level, including counting Carolina backdoor covering Arizona, because I don't trust the Cardinals. You can take that 2-0 record and shove it where the sun don't shine. Sun don't shine. I don't care. Carolina backdoor covers. Pittsburgh, they're a mess, and I'm not going to pay them much mind. Denver, what the fuck? It's okay. It's okay. But 14-2 straight up, 13-3 against the spread. We're not going to talk about the totals because that's a nasty 4-12. Oy, oy, oy. But yeah, that brings me to 25-7 so far on the season straight up. 23-9 against the spread. And a nice 11-21. Not a great start on the over-unders. But hey, the season young and there's plenty of time to update. I got my magical notebook with me. Now I will admit, I forgot to write down pre-stuff. So all I wrote down was just all the lines I got about a half hour before I started recording. So here we are at a crisp 2:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let's break down these games. Starting with the Thursday night game, it feels like this team is on Thursday night every September. Miami is heading to Buffalo. It really feels like within the first 4 weeks of the season, Miami is always on a Thursday night game. And it's like, should we stop putting Miami on an early Thursday night game? It feels like every time they're there, something happens to Tua. Tua fucking dies on the field every time he has to play a Thursday night game in September. What are we doing? What are we doing? But yeah, there's really not much to talk about here. Miami has gone from looking bad to looking worse to just looking flat out awful. And Buffalo, Josh Allen played like shit pretty much, and they still won by 20. So it's like, he's not going to do that again, and if he does, it doesn't matter because it's a short week, so they're probably not going to even ask him to do much. Miami's going to just shoot themselves in the foot the whole game through. So it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Either way, again, no thought to be said, taking Buffalo to win. On the line, they're 11.5-point favorites, which is really gross, especially for a divisional game on a Thursday night. But like I said, it's Miami, and I could argue right now they're worse than the Jets. I could argue that. Might not be a favorable argument, but I could definitely argue it. So, and I mean, Baltimore covered the last one, so like we said, double-digit spreads, there's nothing wrong with them as long as people cover them. It's when they stop covering them the trend starts. So, I'm going to cry myself to sleep, but take that 11.5 and not think twice because I'd rather die with Buffalo being underwhelming than expecting Miami to do anything. Total in the game at 49.5. I think a lot of this is projecting on Miami's offense because we know Buffalo will be fine, but a lot of projecting on Miami, how much they can perform, how much they can contribute to this. Being a Thursday night game, I don't think there's much to contribute. And Buffalo, like we said, they have pretty much a cupcake schedule for the next couple of weeks. They're not going to try too hard. They just want to drive up the score early and then kind of get cruise control. So, again, like they did 30-10 with the Jets, I could see them doing pretty much the same thing here, 30-10 with Miami. Or if you want to even say 30-17, Miami wakes up a little more. Maybe. But that's assuming Tua doesn't fucking die on the field again. So, take that with a grain of salt. What happens with Tua? Either way, I'm taking the under. Buffalo doesn't have anything to prove with Miami. It's a Thursday night game, and Miami, well, they're fucking Miami, so who knows? So yeah, Bills win. Bills cover 11.5. We're going to go under and not think twice about it. Next, we're going to Sunday games. And the first one, aforementioned friend right here. We have the Las Vegas Raiders heading to Washington to take on the Commanders. And like you said, the big news here. Jaden got hurt on that Thursday game, and they're saying there's a good chance, there's nothing official yet, but it's pretty much 50-50 on him playing, and the reports seem to be leaning that he won't play. But either way, it's MariGOATA season, baby. We believe. And I believe MariGOATA, actually I don't remember, he's kind of gone on multiple teams, but he was with Vegas at one point. And I'll never forget that Thursday night game he played when Derek Carr got hurt in the first quarter. So it was MariGOATA versus Herbert on a Thursday night game not too long ago. So lucky me, I've been winning since the day I was born. That is not true. But the Raiders, if anything, I don't. I trust MariGOATA in this offense to be a diet Jaden Daniels at this point in his career. He can essentially do everything Jaden does. And the Raiders, it's an up and down experience. I think the Raiders as a team are better, or I think the Commanders as a team are better than the Raiders. So it's not much to say. But even if MariGOATA starts, I'm still going to take the Commanders to win this game. On the line is 3 and under. You just take it because the likelihood of a 2-point win, a 1-point win, is not very likely. So if you're confident in a team to win, you imagine they're going to win by at least a field goal. So you take the -3. Now this is where it gets tricky. The over is at 44.5. Now with MariGOATA, he is not Jaden Daniels at this point in his career. So it's one of those, do you trust him to run this offense? Eckler is officially done for the year, so it is going to be on Nichols and Krusky Merritt on the run game. Pass game hasn't seemed to fully get there yet. But, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Noah Brown, Luke McCaffrey, they have guys. But I imagine this game's going to be more run heavy, which means the clock's going to keep going. And the Raiders, they're still trying to figure Genty out. It's not there yet, but they're still trying to figure it out. So I think this is two teams who want to run the ball. They want to play defense. I don't think they're going to ask, especially with Geno throwing 3 picks last week, I don't think they're going to ask Geno to do much. So I imagine a lot of running, a lot of clock winding, and a lot of probably field goals. Give me the under on this one. I mean, even something as simple as 23-20, yeah, that'd be a push, but I don't think you're going to ask a lot from these teams to do a lot. I just don't think that's the case. Next game we have the Falcons in Carolina taking on the Panthers. And yeah, it's only 2 weeks, but I'm ready to cash out on the Bryce hype. I think it was all smoke and mirrors at the end of last year, and it's just not really worth it anymore. Yeah, I'm out. I wanted to believe in Bryce. I wanted to believe Dave Canales could figure him out. But so far, against teams that really aren't much of anything, kind of disappointed. But who knows? Maybe that they're at home, because I believe both games were away. Maybe at home it'll be different. But I just can't do it. So, and I like Atlanta. I liked what they did last Sunday night. Apparently I was one of the few people that took them. But I like what they did, so I'm just going to keep rolling with them. Give me Atlanta. On the line, it's 5.5. That's a little tricky. Because, again, they're going to be in Carolina. So I don't know how confident I want to be in that. So you can see my excitement for this game. Big yawn. It's not my favorite lay, but I am going to lay. I will lay 5.5 with the Falcons in Carolina to beat the Panthers. I won't bet on it, and I'm going to tell y'all now, this is probably not one you want to bet on, because the Falcons haven't necessarily proven themselves to be that team yet. So giving them 5.5 on a road is already tricky. But that is going to be what I roll with. I won't bet it, but I'm rolling with it. Next one, we have the Packers in Cleveland taking on the Browns. I'm going to put no effort into this. I'm taking Green Bay to win. Cleveland, we expected this going into the season. This is nothing new. It was always going to be Flacco because he is going to be the best quarterback on the roster. But you knew after, who knows how long, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, the show's going to be up because they're not winning games. So they're going to switch it up. We all knew this was coming. It's going to keep going this way. In Green Bay, like we said, preseason, a lot of people had them talking Super Bowl with the Micah Parsons trade. I was talking Super Bowl even before the Micah Parsons trade. So, Green Bay's really good. Cleveland's not really good. We're taking the Packers to win. On the line, 7.5 in Cleveland. Admittedly tricky, but again, Green Bay we view as a top 5 team. Cleveland we view as a bottom 5 team. So that said, I will lay the 7.5. It would not surprise me if there was a backdoor cover and they only won by 7 or 6. Like, that would not surprise me. But I am not going to bet that. Total in the game is 41.5. Oh, I forgot to fucking do the Atlanta-Carolina one. Whoops. The way Carolina seems to be getting a lot of garbage time points, I will take the over in this. Carolina has apparently been scoring a lot of garbage time. Like I said, they scored a garbage time touchdown against the Jags. Didn't affect the total, but they did. And then they had all those garbage points where they almost came back because Arizona almost choked it. So, Carolina has found themselves in the last second touchdowns. I'm assuming they're going to find a way in the last second touchdown here. It takes the over. And then, okay, back to the Packers and Browns. Do the Packers really need to prove a point to score 30 plus? They are without Jaden Reed now, so it'll be an interesting thing to see. But Matthew Golden should step up. Wicks was one of the main contributors even without knowing that Reed was going to be hurt. Dobbs is always there. Tucker Kraft's taking a role. Luke Musgrave got a catch. Shout out Oregon State. Hey, I root for both. I'm from Corvallis, so I have a bias to the Beavers, but I know the Ducks as a football program have been better pretty much the entire time I've been alive, and probably throughout the entirety of history. But I like both, so I root for both. And I will take over, because I feel like, again, there's going to be a thing where Green Bay's up 30-7. All the starters have been pulled. Cleveland put in Dillon probably, or Shadur, one of the two. And they let a garbage time touchdown drive to push the over. So you got like a 30-14. That's what I'm expecting. Green Bay wins, they cover, we're going to go over 41.5. Because we love garbage time scores and blowout games. Don't we? Next one, we have the Steelers and the Patriots. Pittsburgh is the favorite, despite being the road team at 1.5, and the total is 44.5. Now, had Pittsburgh beat Seattle, I probably would have taken Pittsburgh here. But since they lost to Seattle, I'm here looking at this thinking, how are they a 1.5 favorite? That is what intrigues me. Not to say that Pittsburgh is not the better team than New England here, but what makes them the road favorite? What have they done to earn that? Because you put up a lot of points on the Jets team, who were uncertain about their defense at this point. And you kind of flop against Seattle. We do like it, the defense, but I don't know if they're that upper echelon of defense. So now you're in New England, who their defense isn't quite there yet, but we think there might be something there eventually. And your defense is 2 straight weeks of kind of not doing much. So, make it make sense to me. Might not be the favorite pick a lot of people take, but honestly, give me New England as a home team here. They're the home dog. I like my chances. I like my chances with the Patriots. Give me them. Again, Pittsburgh is laying 1.5, so I'll grab 1.5 for New England. This game does realistically go either way. I wouldn't be shocked if either team won. But truth be told, give me New England. I like them. And like I said, both defenses haven't really gotten there yet. So it's 44.5. Give me the over here. Patriots pull off the home upset, cover their plus 1.5. They gave me over on the 44.5. Again, neither defenses have really proven much. So, and we've seen New England drop 30. Granted against Miami, but we've seen them drop 30. So telling me that a 27-24 win is not out of reach, and it's very much in reach. Next game, probably the headline game of the 1 o'clock slate. We have the Rams in Philly taking on the Eagles. Now, this is one of those games. Philly tends to drop an easy one. Well, I wouldn't say easy, but tends to drop one early, and this kind of rings like this might be the one to drop. But the Rams have also kind of been getting away with certain things. Low scoring affair with Houston. Tennessee hung around with them for a little while. It makes you wonder the validity of the Rams as a threat, as a contender. I still respect them, so I think even if it doesn't look great now, they'll figure it out later. But either way, I do like Philly. They're a home team, and they look more consistent than the Rams do. So give me Philly at home. 3.5. It's a little extra when you pay for that hook, but I think it should be just fine. Give me the Eagles to cover 3.5. Anyway, 44.5. All I can think about is the last 2 times they played, because they played in the regular season and the postseason last year. Both games went over this number. So I'm going to say consistency is consistent. Saquon probably runs for a lot. Give me the over. I'm not going to think twice. Eagles win. Eagles cover 3.5. Give me the over. Next game we have the Colts and the Titans. Indianapolis. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Why are you guys 2-0 all of a sudden? And on pace to destroy my 1 season win total parlay. Where did this come from? Where? I don't know. But I mean, if you do it back to back, you kind of have to give benefit of the doubt. So you know what, Indy? I'm here to give a little benefit of the doubt. Now that you're playing in Tennessee, Titans haven't really figured it out yet. Seems like Cam Ward's found a connection with the Canadian. Gotta make sure I say his name right. Elick Aymer? Aymer? I don't even fucking remember. But I don't know if he's Canadian because I know Justin hyped him up. And I got him in one of the Dynasty Leagues, so I've been seeing him. I'm paying attention. Tennessee, baby stepping it. They're not there yet, but they're baby stepping it. So, Indy, I see your momentum. I'm going to let you keep that momentum. I'm giving the Colts the win here in Tennessee and beating the Titans. But on the line with that, -4.5, as someone who's still not fully believing, and now it's a divisional game against a team who everyone's already going to write off, I'm going to let the Titans cover. I'm going to take the Titans to cover 4.5. Again, do I think Indy could win by 3? Sure. Do I think they could win by 7, 10? Sure, maybe. It's the Titans. We're not really there with them yet. Indy is more of a doubt thing. Tennessee is we know what they are. We know they're not going to be much. But with that doubt with Indy, 4.5 as a road favorite in a divisional game is a little too much for when I don't trust you yet, for when I don't believe in you yet. You can win. I could see you winning. But 4.5 is too much. Give me the win, but I'll take Tennessee to cover. Total in the game at 43.5. Indy's putting up points. Tennessee might have a defense, but we're not really there yet with them either. Indy's defense, you're not fully sold on either. So this game could realistically find itself in the 20s on both sides. So with that, I'll take the over. Now, could this game end 23-20 and just hit under? Yes, absolutely. But I'll take the over. I think Cam Ward is making more building stepping stones to being a starter and having a consistent offense. I'm yapping too much. I wish I got paid for this shit. Anyway, on to the next one. We have the Jets going in Tampa, taking on the Bucks. This could be Justin Fields. It's going to be Tyrod starting. It doesn't matter. I'm taking the Bucks to win. Now, they're dealing with injuries like a you-know-what. But I'm still taking Tampa. They're at home. They're feeling good. Let them have it. 6.5. It's not 7. So, for a team that you think is 2 tiers or 3 tiers better than the team they're facing, 6.5, you'll take it. It's not the happiest in the world to take that big of a spread, but you'll take it. And especially now that it's Tyrod, and Tampa's been dealing with O-line injuries and offensive injuries and all that, I will stick under the 44.5. Now, do I think Tampa could score 40 on the Jets? Sure, absolutely. But I don't think they'll need to, especially with their injuries. And with the way James Cook gashed them, you're telling me Bucky Irving and Rachaad White can't do the same? Baker and all those injuries, I don't think he's going to be asked to do much. So give me the under in that game. Bucks win. Bucks cover 6.5. Under 44.5. 8 down, 8 to go. Ugh, talking too much makes me tired. Next game we have the Bengals and the Vikings. A game that could have been interesting, but now both teams are starting backup quarterbacks. Joe Burrow's injury, as you all know, I don't really got to explain it to you. They are saying 3 months. I'm going to look you dead in the eyes and say he's not coming back at all this year. He's not. Unless by some miracle that his injury isn't as big a deal and he can return back in November. Maybe he'll come back. But 3 months, guys. October, November, December. We're talking a December return if things go according to plan. There's a good chance that they're not going to be in playoff contention come December. Or it's going to be a miracle need. And even if the Bengals get past the Vikings, I think they have, the Packers and the Lions, Denver or something like that. Denver, Green Bay, Detroit, something like that. Their next 3 are going to be hell, even if Joe Burrow was healthy. So, Bengals, I'm not going to say you're done because I don't want to fully discredit Jake Browning. But I would be shocked if Burrow came back at all. I don't think he's coming back. Again, 3 months, you're not going to get it. You're just not going to get it. That said, with this game, the Vikings starting Carson Wentz might be an upgrade. And if you want me to pull straws, I think Justin Jefferson's a better receiver than Jamar Chase. But this is still a game without Jordan Addison. So you're relying on 35-year-old Adam Thielen and Jalen Naylor to be the other receivers. So, if you're going to twist my arm, I think the Bengals' offensive pieces right now are better than Minnesota's. And Minnesota was struggling to score with JJ. Now you have Carson, who, when we last saw him, had the Chiefs' offense however he wanted and couldn't score a single point on Denver. Now, since he has no defense, quote-unquote, so this should be no problem for him. But if I'm going off of what I've seen recently, I have more faith in Browning than I do Carson Wentz. So with that, they're on the road. It's going to be awkward. It's going to be weird. But I'm going to take Jake Browning and the Bengals. It's a road game. Minnesota, they kind of looked dull against the Falcons on Sunday night. So now they get another home game to redeem themselves. They're playing a backup QB, but then they're playing their own backup QB. It's going to be a mess. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to take the under. I don't think it's impossible for Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson to still make plays in this game. I think they'll still be relevant in a certain aspect. But I can't deal with the idea of it being high scoring. So, give me the Bengals. They're the road team, and they're the underdogs, so give me the +3, and give me under 41.5. Again, I still think Chase and Jefferson will make plays, but it will result into ultimately a 21-17 type game. 20-16, something like that. Cincy wins as a dog, so they get the +3, under 41.5. Division game for division's sake, Houston is in Jacksonville to take on the Jags. Now, Houston 0-2 is definitely because their O-line is trash, and they did nothing. In fact, they made it worse technically this offseason, so it's no surprise that C.J. Stroud can't do shit half the time. But are you going to look me dead in the face and tell me the Jags deserve to be the betting favorite in this game? They're at home. It's a division game. That's fair. You really thinking that the Jags should be the favorites in this game? 2.5 tells me there's hesitancy. Because if it were in Houston, it'd be a 3.5, 4-point favorite. But either way, I'm taking the Texans. I think they get out of their stunk, which is, to be fair, it's not that out of pocket when you remember it's the Rams and the Bucs they faced. Both teams who I'm very high on. Texans I like, but with no O-line, I'm not going to put much weight into them anyway. I'm just not. So give me the Texans. They're underdogs, so I'll take the +2.5 and feel like a happy camper. 44.5. I don't think Jacksonville's defense is enough to really prevent Houston from doing much. Houston has a nice defense, but again, divisional games, wacky shit happens. I'm going to grab the over here. I think some wacky shit's going to happen here. I mean, when you got Nick Chubb and Bashawn Tootin and all these guys on this field, Brian Thomas, Nico Collins, Travis Hunter, it's going to be a very funky game for a divisional game. So yeah, give me the Texans, make them cover, go up. Next one, we have the Saints in Seattle taking the Seahawks. And Seattle, I don't know what to do with yet. They kept it close with San Fran, so is that more on San Fran or them? And then you go into Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers. So what do we do in Seattle? I guess it could be on me for not trusting Sam, because, again, I'm not going to trust Sam Darnold. But it looked nice. I'll give him credit. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't really care for the Saints. I will give them credit in the sense of I thought they would be losing ass beatings between Arizona and San Fran. San Fran did a lot of injuries, so they couldn't really do it. But still, close game against the Cardinals. They were right there with the Niners, and they scored points. So it's not that they can't do nothing. It's just not a whole lot. Either way, it's in Seattle. I'll take the Seahawks to win this game. But in the interesting aspect of things, the Seahawks are 7.5-point favorites. And I'm looking at that like, I don't feel comfortable laying 7.5 to this team. Even if they were playing like a Cleveland or New York or anything like that. With the Saints too, it's just like, I can't lay 7.5 on you. I don't want to. It feels gross to me. So I'm just not going to do it. So give me the Saints to cover that 7.5. In a game which, again, the Saints have scored points. It's weird, but they're not the bad you think they are. They're bad, but they're not the bad that you think they are. So weirdly enough, I'm going to take the over here. This feels like another one of those games where the Saints are going to find themselves weirdly in a way where they have a chance They're not going to get it, but they're going to have a chance. So with that, Seahawks win. We're going to have the Saints cover 7.5. Too many points to lay on the Seahawks. I'm not doing it. And over 41.5. Like I said, another really shrimple 23-20. Something like that. Next one, we have the Broncos in LA taking on the Chargers, AFC West. Two teams that look like the top two teams until bullshit finds Kansas City's way and they come back to the top. But for now, these are two teams. Both made the playoffs last year. Both look hopefully good. Denver's defense has some worries here with the way Indy was playing. So keep an eye on Denver, see what they're up to. But in a game that could go either way, in a division that can go either way, you lean on the home team. And Bo Nix has been inconsistent, or below average, to say the least, to start this season. So, give me Herbert, who right now, I won't say lead guy, obviously, but right now is kind of like knocking on the door, like, hey, maybe I can fight for MVP this year. It's 2 games. You don't want to say anything. You don't want to jump the gun too quick. But Herbert's starting to make some noise. He's right there. So give me the Chargers to win this game. They're at home. Division game. You gave it to them. 2.5-point favorites. Makes me think they're going to give Denver some more love than they deserve. Especially with the way that Bo Nix has looked lately and the defense giving up that many points to the Colts. It's tricky. But 2.5, I will take it. Chargers got to figure out their running game too. Otherwise it's going to be trouble. Total game is 45.5. Again, based on the fact I don't trust Denver's defense right now, and the Chargers are not going to have Khalil Mack for a bit, I'm going to grab the over. Grabbing the over this game, over 45.5. Chargers win, Chargers cover, over 45.5. 4 more to go. We have the Cardinals in San Francisco. I kind of don't want to touch this game because I don't trust Arizona, and San Fran's injured to hell and back. But if you force me to push my buttons, I think Arizona being 2-0 is gross, and I don't think anyone wants to believe in that. So I'd rather San Fran, even with Mac Jones. I trust Kyle Shanahan more. So give me the Niners to win this game. 2.5. Again, if you take the team to win, you might as well cover that. You roll with it. And because it's backups, because there's injuries, and because I don't trust Arizona, I'm taking under 44.5. In a game against Carolina where they were blowing them out, decided to just kind of fall asleep there in the fourth, or the second half at the very least. Yeah, you can say Arizona's 2-0 all you want. Those wins are against the Saints and the Panthers. I'm not paying any attention, really. I'm just not. And under 44.5. Next game, we have Dallas and Chicago. And I'm looking at this, too. Chicago's the betting favorite here. Chicago, who just had 52 dropped on them in Detroit, is coming back home and being the favorites against Dallas, who, yes, gave up a lot of points to the Giants. You're making the Bears the favorite? I mean, this sounds like a Dallas game to lose. This feels like a game Dallas would absolutely lose. But I'm just going to tell you now, I don't believe it. I just don't. So I'm taking the Cowboys to win. I will take that plus 1.5. I don't know why it's this way. And I imagine by the time kickoff happens, it won't be. So, no thank you. I'm good. And a giant total at 50.5. Again, I know Dallas' defense gave up a lot, and I know Chicago's did too. But do you really want me to go that high on these on these two teams. Do you really want me to go that high? I'm going to tell you no. I don't want to. I just don't. I'm taking the under, and that's not to say that. I don't know if I can trust these offenses. Dallas exploded because they needed to, but I don't see Chicago putting them in a hole where it's like, yeah, you need to drop 30, you need to drop 40 now. I don't see them putting them in that hole. Ow, I just pulled a muscle in my jaw yawning. God damn it, I'm yapping too much and I'm yawning and it's 2 a.m. and I'm fucking tired. Well, it's 3 a.m. now, but whatever. 2 more games. Let's hurry up and get this done so you can stop watching me do a yawning montage. Sunday Night Football, we have the Chiefs in New York taking on the Giants because that's what the NFL needs. When we want the Chiefs on a Sunday night game, we want them playing the fucking Giants. Listen, I know every team has to play a primetime game, or they want every team playing at least one primetime game. Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night. I get it. And of course, you want to spice it up. But, like, you did this last time they played, too. You had Chiefs and Giants on Monday night not too long ago. And yeah, it's the NFC East. That division is full of people that have money. Everyone pays to watch the NFC East play. But, like, this is a matchup you put on a Thursday. I don't want to see this shit on a Sunday or a Monday. Put this shit on a Thursday. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, even if you put, like Atlanta and Minnesota, two teams who probably should have no business being on there, but, like, at the very least, you have a storyline. 2 quarterbacks in the same draft class, 2 quarterbacks who played on the national championship a couple years back. Like, you had storylines. It works. There's no storylines here. It's Mahomes versus Russell Wilson that no one really cares about. And a Giants team that no one cares about. Wah. But yeah, Chiefs are 0-2. There's no way in hell they fall to 0-3. Giants, it would be the funniest thing in the world, but it's not going to happen. Give me the Chiefs. Now, are we going to get the Giants that only put up 6 against the Commanders? Or are we going to get the Giants that dropped all this on Dallas? And if I had to flip a coin, I'd probably lean on the first rather than the latter. So, that said, I don't really feel comfortable laying 5.5 to the Chiefs, but I'd rather do that than expect the Giants to make this game competitive. I'll take the 5.5 in the Chiefs, but again, it's another one of those, I'm not betting it, or it's not going in my parlay if I make one. Total in the game at 44.5. Kansas City doesn't really have an offense, but the Giants don't really have a defense either. And again, I'm also more expecting the Giants to look more like they did in Week 1 than I did expect them to look like in Week 2. So not the most comfortable one, but I will take under 44.5. Because what do you want from me? What do you want? I'm very tired. And this is why I usually didn't do like doing the live stream format. Because I just, especially if I'm recording at this time, I don't want to berate y'all with yawns. That feels kind of dickish. Well, what do you want from me? I can't do anything. I can't do I just can't. I can't. So, yeah. Chiefs to win. Cover the 5.5 because I'd rather do that than give the Giants any credit. And under 4.5. Final game. Detroit goes into Baltimore to play my Ravens. Ravens, just for the sake of letting everyone know, are doing their darkness fall, so they're doing the black on black uniforms. And it's a primetime game in Baltimore. I'm just telling you now, especially with Lamar's record against the NFC, He only loses the team with Saquon Barkley. So, I don't see Saquon Barkley on the Lions. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens to win this game. I'm biased. Yeah, sue me. I'm rolling with it. 5.5. Little high for a game like this. But again, if you want to really twist my arm, I will lay these 5.5 on the Ravens. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The total is at 52.5. Could this game be high scoring? Absolutely. Ravens defense, even for all they did, 17 points to the Browns. Even if one was a garbage time touchdown, was like, come on. I don't know what to expect. But then again with the Lions too, it's like, are you gonna show up, or are you gonna get shut down? To my knowledge, Jared Goff does not have a lot of fun playing the Ravens. He does not. So it'd be interesting to see how this looks. I guess that's not true. He had one game. He had that one game in 21 we were all injured to hell. And Tucker hit that 66-yarder. But I feel like it would be kind of asinine not to take the over. Because Baltimore's already averaging 40 points. Who's to say they can't score another 40? But even if not, 33-27 is not impossible. 30-24, not impossible. So I feel like with this game, you kind of have to take the over. Just because. Unless Baltimore's defense really shows out and shuts down Detroit like they did last time with the game in Baltimore. The world may never know. But I got MariGOATa by my side, and we are feeling good. We are feeling good. So those are all your games and all my predictions for this lovely week. I have the Bills winning. Bills covering 11.5 and under 49.5 against Miami. I got the Commanders winning. Commanders covering -3 and under 44.5 against the Raiders. I got Atlanta winning. Atlanta covering 5.5 and going over 43.5 against the Panthers. I got the Packers winning. Packers covering 7.5 and going over 41.5 against the Cleveland Browns. I have New England winning. New England being a +1.5 and going over 44.5 against the Steelers. I got the Eagles winning. Eagles covering 3.5 and going above 44.5 against the Rams. I have the Colts winning over the Titans, but the Titans covering 4.5 in a game that goes over 43.5. I have the Bucks winning and the Bucks covering 6.5, going under 44.5 in a game against the New York Jets. I got the Bengals pulling off the upset, covering +3, but staying under 41.5. I have the Texans pulling off the road upset, covering their +2.5 and going over 44.5 against the Jaguars. I got the Seahawks winning, but I have the Saints covering the +7.5 and them going over 41.5 in that game. I got the Chargers winning, the Chargers covering 2.5 and going over 45.5 against the Broncos. I got the 49ers winning, 49ers covering 2.5 and staying under 44.5 against the Cardinals. I got the Cowboys winning as an underdog, +1.5 towards them and under 50.5 in that game against the Chicago Bears. I got the Chiefs winning, the Chiefs covering 5.5 but staying under 44.5 against the New York Giants. And I got the Ravens winning on Monday night, covering 5.5 and that total shooting above a whopping 52.5 against the Detroit Lions. Those are all those picks. They're all written on my lovely board. Can't wait to see how it all unfolds this week. We'll do a quick pop over into fantasy. I swept all my big leagues. That's all that counts. I think I lost both of the funky leagues, but I swept on all 3 of the big leagues. Win in the LOA, win in Ante & Co., and win in the Professional Fantasy League. Which brings me to now 1-1 in LOA, 2-0 in the AOC, and 1-1 in the Professionals. I got week 3 matchups against Steven in the LOA, against our good friend Justin in Ante & Co., and then against Tim in the Professional Dynasty. So much excitement, so little time. MariGOATA, I hope the rumors are true that you are starting, because I will wear my duck hat with pride in whatever chance I get to watch your game, because I work overnights. So, and I'm going to plan on sleeping in this Sunday. So, we'll see what happens throughout the week. We'll see what happens everywhere in between. Good luck to you all on your fantasy teams. Good luck to all you on your teams. If your team's 0-2, hopefully they find a win. If your team's 2-0, keep it going. And yeah, that is all from me. I haven't done a social media shout out, I think, on either of these yet. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, CanadianCatCP. I'll say Instagram at the Blind Canadian Cat, but I'm never on there, really. I'll say Twitch, but again, I'm not really on Twitch, and at this point, I'm probably streaming here on YouTube more than I do Twitch. So, take your pick and hop into my Discord. It's not the most active place in the world, but hey, if I can find anyone who wants to talk football, anyone who wants to talk rap battles, anyone who wants to talk about Avatar Aang or The Legend of Korra, I'll take what I can get. And with that, I am heading out. Again, I think one person popped up. I've seen my thing go up to 2 or 3, but that's about it. No one said anything, which I expect for doing this at 3 in the morning. It's whatever. I see that we're going to stay under an hour with this one, so clearly I was a little faster, which is what I like to see. And with that, I will catch you all next week. Choose peace, accept love, and have big trust. Good night, Internet. Go Ducks. Quack, quackity quack quack, and quack.